Welcome to Chimpin Out.
Episode 2.
Chimping with your guns out.
Chimping with your guns out? No, but we're here today to talk about guns.
So, if anybody pays attention to anything, even if you're half-ass paying attention to the news sometimes, you'll know that the I don't even like saying Democrats anymore because, you know, there's probably some Democrats that aren't complete idiots because there's Republicans that are going to be dumbheads too.
Yeah.
So we'll just say that the people that don't like freedom, whatever you want to label them, liberals most of the time.
Can we call them tyrannists?
Tyrannists. We call them statists. You know, statist gonna state.
Yeah.
Basically, anybody that wants to take away any freedoms you have decided to pile up on the gun control thing again.
Yes, we should mention the fact that we believe in liberty and we are anti-tyranny. So, if you want to shut this off now, go ahead.
Yeah. If you're not a fan of the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights, you can go fuck yourself.
Yes,
because we believe those are almost should be held at a religious level of, you know, you don't fuck with that. That's the way it is, and don't fuck around.
Absolutely.
So there's two bills right now. I think one's just an update of another. There's S-42, which is the Senate bill, and then there's H.R. 8. Which is basically they're trying to expand the background check thing. So they want to, obviously you've heard before, they want to close the gun show loophole. So what does that mean to the everyday man, right? And if you ever gone to a gun show and you want to buy a gun, usually there's people at gun shows they're already firearms dealers. They own a shop and they're at the show. And guess what? You have to go through the same process if you were at the shop buying the gun. You got to get background checked, depending on what state you're in now. I don't want to give away my location completely, but where I'm at, if you could either get a pistol permit, which is $5. You buy the pistol permit, then you can go and give the person like, hey, and they background check you, right? You have to get your pistol permit from the sheriff's office. So how that works, go in, they background check you, they fingerprint you, all that jazz. You get your pistol permit, $5. That's good to go buy one gun, whether it's at a gun show, gun store, whatever.
Hold on a second. So in case you're wondering, the bill we're talking about is the Bipartisan Background Checks Act of 2019, which states, it shall be unlawful for any person who is not a licensed importer, licensed manufacturer, or licensed dealer to transfer a firearm to any other person who's not so licensed, unless a licensed importer, licensed manufacturer, or licensed dealer has first taken possession of the firearm for the purpose of complying with subsection S. Now, exactly what does that mean? Like, it sounds like they're trying to stop anybody from selling a gun to anybody else without first going through a licensed gun dealer.
Right. So they want you to, and I've done that before, right? Like if my dad wanted to sell me a gun, now technically he doesn't have to do that, right? He can be like, oh, I'm just going to give me some money, or here's the gun. Which they've mentioned in here, right? Like if it's a gift to somebody, if it's a gift, that this doesn't apply if it's a gift. No,
so a gift is still fine.
Right. And it's mentioned down in paragraph 2, section B. But anyway, so, but say for example, like my dad's like, hey, I'm going to sell this to you. Or even if a friend of yours, say a friend of yours, like, hey, I'm going to sell you this gun. Now, technically, normally what people would normally do is go to the gun shop because they're an FFL, they're a federal licensed firearm dealer, and they would just run you through the background check. All right, he's good to go, and they do the transfer fee and all that jazz. Mm-hmm. Now, but that's how they want it to do. So basically that's what they're saying. Like, if you sell a gun, you have to go here first, and these people have to touch it first. So it has first take possession of the firearm for purpose of complying with all the crap that goes on.
Yes.
Now, technically, you don't have to do that. I mean, I know a bunch of people sold guns to their buddies, and it's like one thing like, well, we're all concealed carry permit holders who already had background checks, and it doesn't matter, right? Say, okay, I have a concealed carry permit, and you sell me a gun, and you're assuming, well, dude isn't a jerk off, he's got a concealed carry permit, blah, blah, blah. But does that mean I'm not going to go crazy and light the place up? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's stupid.
Yeah.
So that's what they're trying. They basically want a paper trail on everything.
You're not even technically now. They want to make it where you can't even lawfully loan a gun to someone. And I'm seeing the verbiage down here, something about a temporary transfer.
Right. If somebody's life's in like imminent harm and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have this all you can loan them a gun to go to a shooting range.
Right.
Or hunting or trapping.
Right.
If you have no reason to believe that the transferee intends to use the firearm in a place where it is illegal. It's like, well, so say I lend it to him with the best of intentions. He tells me he's going to go to the shooting range. He goes and kills somebody. Now I'm on the hook for this.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, that's it, right. And it comes down to the same thing. It's always they're prescribing intent to the weapon instead of the person, and that's what's bullshit. So you should, why should you get in trouble? Yeah, it's like, hey, can I borrow your car, man? And then I go fucking just run through a bus stop full of nuns and orphans. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But you're in trouble for that. It's bullshit. I'm the one that performed the act, so I should be responsible. And that's what it comes down to. And we'll probably mention this a bunch of times, but it all comes down to responsibility for one's own actions.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about liberal. They don't want to be responsible. They want people to be responsible for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea is though is Trump's going to veto this if
he's already said like, hey, if this shows up on my desk, I'm going to tell everybody to fuck off, which is that's what we want them to do. I mean,
I imagine it'll fly through the House,
right? But when it gets to the Senate, I'd be surprised if it gets past that. Anything's possible, right? Because people are giving each other blowjobs and shit.
Yes, yeah.
But hopefully,
you can't rely on either. Yeah, you can't rely on either side anymore. I mean, it's insane.
People are blackmailing each other with whatever is going on. Any law, doesn't matter. If you go back to the Second Amendment, and then it should be any gun law after that is bullshit.
Yeah.
So anything from the National Firearms Act to Brady shit and the Gun Control Act of 68 and all the stuff, even like the 94 ban on assault weapons, which was eventually just like it expired anyways. Who cares?
So let me ask your opinion on this.
All right.
Like, okay, obviously there are certain people you don't want with a gun in their hand, right? And it's just, of course, except the only problem with that is,
who judges that?
Well, exactly, but that's my point.
Because right now there's things like, oh, hey, if you use antidepressants, you shouldn't be having a gun. Hey, man, if you weed's legal in some states now. Oh, man, if you're a pothead, you can't fucking use a gun. That's fucking crazy. Yeah. So there's all that crap. Like, well, who decides that?
That's what I mean. You mean,
or say somebody's like, man, I got back from seeing a bunch of people blown up over the Middle East, and I'm kind of fucked up about it and all that. But you take that guy's guns away because he's having a bad time. It's just fucking bullshit. And here's my thing. I'm gonna go hardcore on this. So, let's pretend the Second Amendment doesn't exist. Let's say those founding fathers, man, we fucked up. We didn't put that in there. We should have put it in, and we didn't put it in. And just FYI, so people who have never read the Constitution, the Constitution is a set of guidelines and rules for the government. It's not for the people. Doesn't mean I'm allowed. It means the government can fuck off. It means, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to tell you guys you can't fuck off. You could fuck off on this because we wrote it down. That's all it's supposed to be for. It's not rules for people. It's rules for the government. But let's pretend the Second Amendment never existed. They fucked up and didn't put it in. And whether you're religious or not, because a lot of people say it's God-given right, but it's just you have a natural right to self-defense, right?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to protect myself.
Yeah.
Now people go, well, that doesn't mean you need to be using firearms. But I'm like, no, look, if somebody's trying to kill me, I should be able to use whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Now you have the idiots go, well, does this mean that you can have a tactical nuke? Just that's not what it fucking means. And when I hear shit like that, I'm like, you're fucking idiot. Get the fuck out of here. Conversation's over with. People pull out the stupid fucking way out there fucking bullshit. But if we want to go back to the exact wording, whenever they were talking about fire, that's why they didn't say, they just said keep and bear arms, right? That doesn't mean Then that doesn't even necessarily mean firearm. It just means weapons, right? They could have been knives, guns, blades, whatever.
Yeah.
They just said keep and bear arms. They didn't mention specific items at the time. But if you go back and you have to read a bunch of letters between all these guys back then that were doing stuff, and I think there's a book called The Founder's Second Amendment, where they talk about it basically meant anything a normal infantryman would carry back in the day. So that would be, if we're going to go by that, well, what's a normal infantryman carry these days? If you want to just go like 0311B kind of like infantry dude, he's going to have, he's not even going to have a pistol really. Like most guys, you don't have pistols. Usually they're going to have their M4, M16, M4, depending what branch they own, if they're getting any new shit. And depending on their speciality, all right, guy might have an M249, Back in the day, they had M60s. And even you could pump it up even more. Well, this guy's a tow gunner. Well, back in the day, Revolutionary War period, they were carrying small cannons. If I can carry it, guess what? It's fucking allowed.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. And now I'm not saying people should be like fucking just carrying around tow missile systems and shit like that,
Yeah.
But then I think there's a place in Georgia, it's Kennesaw, Georgia, where they're like, hey, if you want to live here in Kennesaw, Georgia, you have to own a firearm. It's like the law, basically. Now, if you could be like, no, I don't want to own a firearm, they're not going to penalize you. I think there's, I don't know what the deal is. But guess what the crime rate is in fucking Kennesaw, Georgia? Zip.
Yeah.
Good.
What about convicted felons? Like, should they give up that right?
All right. Here's my thing. Okay, but what does convicted felon mean? What does that mean?
Well, let's just say, okay, you were convicted of a violent crime.
All right. Okay. Now, what is the what specifically is it?
Well, where you at least you did. Well, I mean, I would assume that you did some sort of bodily harm to somebody else. Now, whether or not that was with a gun, with a club, a knife, whatever, should they lose their right to bear arms as you used it, where it could mean any weapon?
Okay.
Knife, gun.
So depending so we're assuming this person had ill intent. Whoever they attacked was minding their own business. This is what you're trying to say, right? So there was no defensive use of anything. They're like, I purposely attacked this person with whatever weapon, even if it was their
maybe
hand.
to rob them, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to go hardcore on this. I'm going to go super hardcore. People are going to be like, what the fuck? That guy just said that? Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Yeah, no.
Hey, we're chimping out, man.
Right. Yeah. Chimping with the guns out. So this is how I think things should run. What does the Second Amendment say? I'm just going to say whatever that says, it should be for everybody, right? Because everybody should have the ability to defend themselves. So guess what? All right, they did jail time, they get out now. All right, hey, I'm out of jail. Yeah, you know what? You should be allowed to own a firearm. You know why? Because guess what? You want to fucking play the game? You want to order off the menu? You want to fucking pull that shit again on somebody? Then you're taking your chances. I'm just saying, yeah, let everybody have it. I don't give a fuck. That's my whole point. It's like, yeah, let everybody have guns. You want to fucking just go in someplace and start shooting a place up? What if everybody has guns? Do you want to fucking play that game?
Yeah. Can I tell you how the way I always, thought of it, like we've never really spoken about this really. So, but I was always under like, there should be people that don't have guns. Okay. This is my thought. But here's the problem. It's just like anything else. If you give in the slightest bit, right, they're going to take that, and then they're going to want the next inch.
Right.
And then they're going to want the next inch, and as soon as you gave us that, we'll want this, and then nobody has anything, right?
What's a death by a million cuts?
Right. And it's so even though I wouldn't really care if, like say maybe there are certain wackos that probably shouldn't be walking around with a gun again, but I can't allow them again to make that. I can't allow that much because they'll take advantage of it. So you just can't allow them to have anything or they'll take everything.
Well, that's the whole point. Like, who's in charge of making those decisions?
Yeah.
Who makes the call on that?
Well, that's another debate. I mean, whether or not the guy is certified. See, that's another thing.
Who makes the call on that?
That's my point. You could say this guy's crazy. Look at him. He's eating his own shit, right? Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, we got it. But see, then they'll use that to go back to the antidepressants thing. Well, this guy's on antidepressants. Doesn't that make him crazy? Right. So now that anybody that's ever had antidepressants can't have a gun either, and you can't have one your whole life. If you've ever taken if you've ever been prescribed an antidepressant, you can't have a gun now. That's my point. This guy's clearly nuts. This guy's clearly not, but you're going to want to categorize them the same so you can take away guns from everybody. That's what I mean. You can't allow them to have the slightest sliver, or they'll take it all. That's the problem.
That's why I just go back to the Second Amendment all the time. It's like, no, it should not be infringed, so go fuck off. And everybody's allowed to protect themselves. Go fuck yourself.
Right, you're right. It's easier just to do that, because if you don't, then it'll all be gone. Yeah, it's either all or nothing. Right. With these people.
And then I want to mention, like, a lot of the gun control, like any control, really, it's just the sense of slavery. So a lot of gun control was racist, obviously. I mentioned the pistol permits earlier. So I'll say I live in the South. So that was a big deal, right? So the pistol permit, $5, that's a big deal back in the day. Get a pistol permit, don't have the money. So it was just a way, because it was completely racist. It's still $5. I don't know how long it's been $5. The same thing with if you go back to the National Firearms Act of 1934, NFA, it was $200. And back then when it came out, it's like $3,000, $2018, whatever. So, and that happened because of all the gang wars, right? And, gangsters, Valentine's Day Massacre and shit. That's when that happened. They're like, oh, we got to fucking get a hand of these machine guns and shit. So if you want to buy a machine gun now, or you want to get a part that has it's full auto, or you want to get like a suppressor or silencer, or whatever you want to call it, you got to get stamped. It's got to be NFA stamp on it. $200. Now other things are more money. So most things are still $200, but depending what you get, it's going to go higher.
Right.
But I also wanted to mention this thing about hoplophobia. This is from Colonel Jeff Cooper. Which anybody in the gun industry would know his name, or gun world should know Jeff Cooper, the guy who wrote Principles of Personal Self-Defense. And I'm just going to read it straight from the page. Okay. This is Jeff Cooper's words. He coined the term hoplophobia in 1962 in response to a perceived need for a word to describe a mental aberration consisting of an unreasoning terror of gadgetry, specifically weapons. The most common manifestation of hoplophobia is the idea that instruments possess a will of their own, apart from that of the user. This is not a reasoned position, but when you point this out to a hoplophobe, he is not impressed because his is an unreasonable position. To convince a man that he is not making sense is not to change his viewpoint, but rather to make an enemy. Thus, hoplophobia is a useful word, but as with all words, it should be used correctly. So obviously, and this goes on a lot of things, the liberals would be like, if you try to point out facts, they will be emotional about it.
Yeah.
So you won't change their mind. And what happens? Yeah, you've made an enemy. They don't want to listen to you. They shut you down. They call you name, whatever. And many times they turn violent, which is kind of interesting. And these are stats we probably should have got out of, like how many firearms are in the United States, and there's a shit ton. Like it's insane, in the millions, right?
Yeah.
And most of those legal gun owners haven't killed anybody.
Yeah.
Unless they were military law enforcement.
Yeah.
I haven't had to use my gun yet,
Me neither. And I've always said, you know what? The last thing on earth I want to do is have to fucking shoot somebody.
Right.
I mean, that's not even, you could, there's a lot of cowboys out there, but even they would, when it comes down to it, they don't want to have to shoot anybody either.
Yeah.
But if you got to save your life or someone else, then, that's how I feel.
Agreed. Yeah, you're just going to have a legal shitstorm, even if it's a justified shooting these days.
Oh, right. That's what I mean. Yeah.
It's just a whole mess. But other than that, I mean, you're taking human life, and if you haven't done that before, it's going to fuck your shit up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not even from a legal standpoint. From a legal standpoint, yes, it would also be a nightmare, even if it was justified. But I'm not in any hurry to take a human life. I mean, even if they're trying to kill me, I still, it's still not a desirable action to have to take,
Right. Because we're not psychopaths or sociopaths.
Right.
And to go along that, the whole, like you were saying, you're not trying to take a life. And that's what I think a lot of liberals see. Like, oh, you just want to kill people. Like, no. This is supposed to be to save lives, right? It's like, here's the thing. You could use the metaphor of instead of a gun, think of a car seat. Like, I don't put on a seatbelt. Sorry, not a car seat, a seatbelt. I don't put on a seatbelt because I want to get into car wrecks. You know what I mean?
Right.
I put on a seatbelt in case I am in a car wreck. I don't have a fire extinguisher in the home because I'm hoping the place catches fire and I go, ooh, I get to use my fire. No. I have it just in case the fire breaks out and I need to use it. It's the same thing. I don't carry a gun because I'm hoping to get into a gunfight. That's the last fucking thing I want to do. But if one comes to me, because I'm not going to get to choose,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to all right, I guess it's time to use this because I have to use it now. It's not because I want to. It's not I don't want to. It's I have to use it.
It's like, because it's like these teachers now. They want to train them. They want them to go through firearm training. It's like they don't want it. They don't want the teachers running down the halls blazing guns, but they might have to if some idiot walks in and starts fucking hosing the place down.
Right. So wouldn't you want them to have a little bit better accuracy, a little bit better training to understand how things are going to happen?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I don't get it. Because here's the thing. I mean,
nobody's hoping the teachers have to use it, but Christ.
Because there's a good chance, and there's not even a good chance. There's already teachers out there that are concealed carrying, and probably always have been.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it might not be a lot because usually the mindset of a lot of teachers, they're going to be a little liberal, but it probably wasn't back then. Look, my dad, back in high school, they had gun clubs. They had the rifle team had guns on the bus. Nobody was fucking shooting anybody.
Yeah.
So it's not a gun problem, it was never the issue with the firearm. It's always an issue of, people's mental capacity and how they were raised is really what happens with these whack jobs. Because if you go to half these whack jobs are a lot of them, and even murderers or serial killers, they're single parent, usually single mother raised most of the time. And they're on some fucking form of psychological meds. Yeah. Because of that reason. Yeah. So it had nothing to do with the guns. And then people think and that's another thing, violent crime overall is still a 50-year low. But because the news sensationalizes things, you think it's worse. And it's not. And violent crime is down all over the board. People are fucking idiots, man. That's another thing. Gun violence. It's fucking violence, dude. I can't stand it. Guns don't fucking do anything on their own. Knife violence, I can't stand that. Gun violence, it's fucking retarded. They just want to push it out there even more. Yeah. But
we were talking earlier. We were talking earlier about the gun violence. How many things fall under that category? And suicides fall under gun violence. It's how does that? You're not committing violence against anybody but yourself. So how is that considered gun violence? Right. I mean, I guess it technically is, but in the weird twisted.
It pumps their numbers up, so that's what.
Sure. But I mean, even accidental shootings and accidental deaths. You drop a gun on the ground and it blows you. That's gun violence. It's what?
Right. Yeah. Some guy goes to reholster his firearm, shoots himself in the ass.
Right. Again, doesn't it come back to?
Or somebody's cleaning their gun. Yeah. Right. The negligent discharges and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, doesn't doesn't it imply intent to hurt someone?
Well, that's
I don't know. Maybe it.
Well, no. See, that's the whole point. And I kind of threw this in earlier about domestic violence. What does that mean? What are they putting under the umbrella of these things? Because that's the whole thing about 1984. If you change the meaning of words, then you change the narrative, and that's what they like to do, and that's what's fucking makes things very dangerous. And this goes. I mean, this is another thing we didn't even mention, the whole red flag laws and all that bullshit. Maryland, I posted this a while ago, where they went, and I can't remember. So there's this red flag law in Maryland where if you think somebody might do something, man, that guy, I don't know, he said some stuff. I think he might hurt some people. So you make the call, hey, Crazy Bob's I think he might do something. So the cops show up. They showed up at this old dude's house, and I think the time of day was like real early in the morning. So he's like, "Who the fuck's knocking on my door this early?" So he answers the door. His gun's in his hand. Opens the door. It's the cops. Like, "Hey, we're here for your shit. Your guns." He's like, "Well, I'm not going to give you my shit." So they try to take the gun off him, while he's got it in his hand, and it goes off. So guess what? They light this dude up. And there was this thing, like I posted about it, and people, some people agree with me. Other people are like, "Oh, well, if you just followed the law." I'm like, no. I go, how about if the law was never passed? How about if the cops said, "Fuck that, we're not going to do this shit"? How about all that? How about if they just follow the fucking Constitution? That old man would not be fucking dead. Why? Because somebody felt like I don't know what the reasoning was. I don't know why they fucking called whoever called who about this guy.
Fucking Minority Report.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said on the post. I go, "Welcome to fucking Minority Report. Future crime." And I can't stand anything that's there's victimless crimes. I can't stand it. So it just fucking stinks. It fucking smells real bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll leave it on there.
Yeah. It's just every time they start talking about, it just seems like they're just so hell bent on this Second Amendment bullshit. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before they try to repeal this, and they're able to do it.
Well, here's the thing, though. How many people are really hell bent? Because you got to think, the mainstream media is they're owned by the Democratic Party.
Sure.
So is that the real true narrative of the U.S. population, or is that they just want you to think it is?
Right.
So they can, "Oh, hey, man, everybody's down with this. We should just do this." No, I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
But granted, but people aren't the way they used to be. They're not as hardcore. Because if this was back in the late 1700s, even early 1800s, and they were trying to pull this shit, people would already start shooting. They're like, get the fuck. They would have went to fucking the Capitol and started hanging motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Because
it just doesn't make any sense. It's like okay, you take everybody's gun, you take all the good people's guns. Now, who's got guns now? You got the cops got guns, the military's got guns. All the bad guys got guns because you think you're going to stop them. Say they take them all away. They try to take them all away, right?
Well, okay.
They just smuggle them in over the border because we don't need a wall, So just smuggle the guns in.
Yeah. The whole Fast and Furious thing. Yeah, who was running that? The fucking government smuggling guns in. Assholes. They tried to set something up and it went for shit. So the bad guys got the guns. And the government set it up. It's like, god damn it, Yeah, but like you said, criminals don't follow laws anyway. So how are these laws going to help anything?
Right. So all that does is leave us open. You know what I mean? We're wide open now.
Well, that's their plan. It's the lie, right? It's like, hey, we want to make people safe. Then you can't legislate people out of legal people. Then you're just making us outlaws. Which I'm like, all right, fine. You already see me as a criminal, so you're just gonna make it official.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's all bullshit, man.
Well, it's just control. It's just they just want that control to do whatever freak shit they want to do, even worse. And what are we going to do about it? Because we're no longer armed. But that's not going to be the case. It really comes down to the whole fucking King Leonidas come and take them. Who knows what the guy said, but really, it's like come and take them.
Oh, well said. So that's probably about it for the show, huh?
Yeah, I guess I'll stop it.
Okay, well, thanks for chimping out with us.
Yeah, chimping with your guns out.
Chimping with your guns out. Bye-bye, everyone.